Good evening, Philippines. Welcome once again to Trendline PH, where the political temperature is hot, the legal arguments are hotter, and social media is basically on permanent popcorn mode. Tonight, we break down the legal chaos, Senate drama, and constitutional confusion surrounding Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, the ICC warrant, and the growing political storm shaking the country. And let's be honest, at this point, Philippine politics no longer needs scriptwriters, it needs traffic controllers.
Can the Senate legally protect Bato? Now let's begin with the biggest question many Filipinos are asking. Can the Senate legally hide or protect a senator with a valid warrant of arrest? According to legal opinions now circulating online, short answer? No. There is reportedly no law specifically allowing the Senate to harbor someone facing a valid warrant, whether local or international. Some senators invoked parliamentary tradition, but critics quickly responded. Tradition? Former Senator Leila de Lima was arrested. Former Senator Trillanes faced warrants. Even Juan Ponce Enrile dealt with legal proceedings while serving. So, apparently, Senate tradition only becomes flexible when the plot gets complicated. And here's another important point. Under Article 6, Section 11 of the Constitution, senators are protected from arrest only for offenses punishable by 6 years or less. Crimes against humanity? That carries reclusion perpetua. Translation: that constitutional shield expires faster than campaign promises after election season. Critics now argue that creating special protection for powerful officials while ordinary Filipinos face arrest normally could violate equal protection under the Constitution. Because if justice only moves differently for VIPs, then ordinary Filipinos start wondering if the law is wearing designer clothes.
Local court versus ICC. Now here comes another argument flying all over social media. Wait, local courts are different from the ICC, but lawyers opposing this claim are pointing to Republic Act 9851, passed in 2010, which allows Philippine authorities to surrender accused persons to an international tribunal when that tribunal is already conducting the investigation or prosecution. And here's the awkward part for critics of the ICC. That law was passed by Congress itself and signed by then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So technically, this legal situation was locally made. Very proudly Filipino.
Then came another emotional argument. Why should foreigners judge Filipinos? Critics of that argument responded, well, Congress itself approved participation in these international legal mechanisms years ago. In other words, people are now blaming the referee for rules their own team agreed to before the game started.
Wait, what about extradition? And then there's the word everybody suddenly became experts on this week: extradition. Social media lawyers everywhere started typing at lightning speed. But according to legal interpretations being circulated, extradition rules may not even apply here because extradition happens between states. The ICC is not a country. It's an international court, meaning you cannot extradite someone to ICC land, which, unfortunately for meme creators, does not exist on Google Maps.
Didn't the Philippines already leave the ICC? Then came perhaps the biggest misunderstanding online. Since the Philippines already left the ICC, doesn't that mean the ICC has no jurisdiction anymore? The answer repeatedly cited by legal analysts: no. The Supreme Court itself reportedly ruled in Pangilinan versus Cayetano that the ICC still retains jurisdiction over alleged crimes committed while the Philippines was still a member, up until March 17, 2019. So, withdrawal from the ICC did not automatically erase possible liabilities. Basically, leaving the group chat does not delete the old messages.
What is the complementarity principle? Now let's talk about the so-called complementarity principle. Yes, the legal term suddenly trending harder than celebrity breakups. Under the Rome Statute, domestic courts are supposed to get first priority in investigating and prosecuting crimes, meaning the ICC steps in only if the country itself fails or refuses to properly investigate. Back in 2021, the Duterte administration asked the ICC to pause its investigation, saying the Philippines was already conducting its own probe into EJK allegations. The ICC temporarily paused. But later, the ICC prosecutor reportedly argued that the investigations conducted locally were insufficient, especially because the same officials being accused were allegedly connected to the investigations themselves, and that's when the ICC resumed the probe. Critics summarize the situation like this: you cannot grade your own exam and then declare yourself innocent.
Now let's talk about the Senate shouting match. Some supporters were offended that voices were raised during debates, but critics pointed out Robin Padilla himself reportedly interrupted and raised his voice first during exchanges with Senator Kiko Pangilinan. And let's be honest, Philippine Senate debates have always included shouting. This is not exactly a meditation retreat. The Senate floor has seen arguments, insults, dramatic speeches, finger-pointing, and enough tension to power Meralco for a week. At this point, raising voices in the Senate is practically a parliamentary love language.
But beyond all the noise, critics say the country is now losing focus on the bigger issue: the impeachment trial. Many are now arguing that while the country is consumed by the Bato saga, the Senate still has a constitutional duty to convene as an impeachment court regarding Vice President Sara Duterte. Because in the end, they argue, one senator's personal legal battle is one thing, but impeachment concerns the entire nation. And that may be the most important point of all. This is no longer just about personalities. It's about institutions, constitutional responsibilities, and whether Philippine democracy can still function properly while political allies protect each other in real time.
One thing is certain: the next few days could reshape Philippine politics for years. This is Trendline PH. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more breaking news, sharp commentary, and the political drama that somehow keeps getting more unbelievable every single day. Stay informed, Philippines, because the Senate season finale is clearly not over yet.